Got it. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Jim Stein. It's Tuesday, September 13th. It's 7 p.m. And this is a meeting of the Lake Balboa Recreation and Park Committee. On our agenda tonight, we have welcome. I'm Jim Stein, and would everyone like to introduce themselves in case there's people out there who don't know who you are? Why don't we start with Katie?
I'm Katie Cronin. Hi.
Katie's a stakeholder. I'm Linda Gravani. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Baggio, Lake Balboa resident and stakeholder.
And committee member. Linda Gravani, Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council president. Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Frio. I'm a stakeholder resident, and maybe there's echo because Nate is in the other room. Hi.
Linda Schwerin.
Good evening. Linda Schwerin, Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council and Rec and Parks Committee member. Glad to be here.
And Danica.
Danica Middleton, Lake Balboa board member and secretary.
Thank you. Let me see what was on this. Okay, welcome. We've done introductions. Item number 3. Department of Rec and Parks got a hold of me, and they said they're unable to attend. No comment. Is are Jonah or Viana with us? No.
No.
Okay. So we're going to move to item number 4. The agenda we have in front of us. I make a motion to approve the September agenda. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Go ahead, Katie.
Okay. And so can we vote on that? I vote.
Are there
yes.
any questions? Or are there any questions or corrections?
Nothing.
Okay, Jim, vote.
I vote yes.
Yes.
No, you're in charge of the vote.
Oh, I am. I do that too. Okay. Katie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Nate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Linda Schwerin, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That's 4 yeses, and that passes. Item number
Would the
5.
secretary please, excuse me, Jim, it is now 7:03 and Ruth Doxey joined the meeting.
Ruth. Welcome, Ruth. Would you like to say hello, Ruth?
Hello.
Hi, Ruth.
Okay. We just got finished saying that the representative from Rec and Parks is not going to be able to be here, and Jonah and Viana are not here either.
Yes, they are. They are now here. You need to look at the attendee list.
I don't. Where do I see that? Attendee.
Participants.
It's under participants.
Yes.
Oh,
Click on that, and one side says panelists and the other side says attendees.
okay. Okay. How do I add them? I'm so sorry.
Click on the word attendees.
Attendee. Okay.
And now you see Jonah, Miriam, Rebecca, and Viana.
And I just start adding them?
No, you
Allowed
just
to talk?
speak and
Just go allowed to talk?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm so sorry that I'm slow about this. Viana.
Hello.
I'm having trouble adding Viana.
There we go.
I did it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
We just approved the September agenda, and now we're moving on to the minutes. Can anyone put the minutes up on screen? I
I may be
summarized
able
them
to do that
from
for you.
August. I'm
I'll
sorry.
try to do that for you right now.
Thank you.
I could if you'd like me to. There,
Thank you, Ruth.
sure.
Should see it. It's up there.
I'm not a secretary. I'm not as good as Danica at this, but I summarized the minutes from my recollection and from the recording that we took. If anyone wants to look those over and has any corrections.
Hmm.
A question?
Yes.
Can we scroll back up to the beginning of number 8? I was interested to see if something was missed. Okay. No, it's the second line on number 8. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for looking over the minutes. Really appreciate it. Does anybody have any corrections? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the August minutes. Do I hear a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, and
Who was this? Jim Stein made the motion. Who was second?
Linda Schwerin.
Thank you.
let's see. Katie, how do you vote?
I have to abstain because I was absent at the
That's
meeting.
right. I'm sorry. I forgot you were in Costa Rica.
That's right.
Yes. How could I forget that? Nate, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Linda Schwerin, how do you vote?
Yes,
And Ruth, how do you vote?
Ruth was not there
Abstain,
either.
'cause,
Oh,
yeah, I
I'm
wasn't there.
sorry.
I'll abstain.
Uh,
I was
Jim
there.
Stein, how do you
I
vote?
vote yes. So that's one,
Three
two,
yes.
3 yeses and 2 abstentions. So that passes. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 6, as I said before,
Jim,
yes.
did you want to go back to item number 3 since Vienna and Jonah are here?
We can mention that they are here. Yes, absolutely. Jonah and Viana, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Viana. I am the Lake Balboa Field Deputy with the Office of Council President Nuri Martinez, here this evening with Jonah.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Jonah Glickman, Manager of Homeless Response and Initiatives for Council President Martinez. Thanks for having us this evening.
Thanks for being available. Number 6, a representative from the Department of Rec and Parks was unable to attend, so we're going to skip that. Number 7 goes right to Jonah and Viana. Would you guys like to speak on behalf of that?
Absolutely. So I'll go first, and then I know Viana has a few other updates on some other projects. But as it,
If
I
I
believe
could just,
for.
Joan, if
Sorry,
I
go
could
ahead,
just
Linda.
stop you for a moment. We're on item number 7, discussion of long-term sustainability of conditions at Jesse Owens Park, no overnight parking signs on street, permanent information board at park, and take it away. Thank you.
Great. So thank you for teeing me up there. Again, this is Jonah with CD6. To speak to that item regarding those long-term efforts, we are exploring that with LAPD regarding the parking signage. The issue with this parking signage that we're facing across the city is that if people are living in their vehicles, the city has to meet a very high threshold in order to tow those vehicles, regardless of posted signage. Posted signage does help us give the authority for traffic officers to hate vehicles. But like I said, if a vehicle is being used as a dwelling, the city still has to note that it meets a very limited set of criteria, which includes a traffic hazard, which is why we have the temporary parking sign. One of the other things we're doing about the long-term changes to Jesse Owens is really just messaging with
Jonah,
LAPD,
can you repeat?
homeless outreach teams. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jonah, but could you repeat those standards that you have to meet? You were broken up a little bit. I'm really interested in that.
Right, when you got to the word traffic,
worries.
that's
Sorry.
where we lost you.
Yep.
Okay, so can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes.
I hope. Okay, so the criteria that we have to meet if we are going to enforce on a vehicle dwelling is that it has to present either a traffic hazard, so it's blocking a lane of traffic, or an environmental hazard, which means it would be leaking motor oil or sewage into the public right of way, or it has to be blocking permitted city work. So those are pretty limited categories, and a lot of times RVs or vehicles don't meet one of those criteria. So it is difficult at the city. Like I said, we can still put up signage, but I want to sort of, put a caveat on that, that just because there is no parking signage or no overnight signage, it doesn't necessarily mean that vehicle dwellings will automatically be removed from an area. So what we have been doing is messaging to the homeless in the area through LAPD officers and homeless outreach teams that folks cannot be staying at the park. We are seeing, I've been seeing the emails from people, and I've been getting the, requests about some tents and vehicles around the park. Our outreach team was actually able to successfully house a couple of homeless people that were at Jesse Owens Park last week. And, I have LAPD checking on the area regularly. So one of the things here is we just have to keep messaging to everybody on the streets about the park. So in addition to the no parking signage we're looking into, we're also exploring 4118 signage for the park, which again does not guarantee that the homeless would automatically be removed. But again, it's an additional measure that the city can put in place to try to send the message to the homeless population that this park is not an area that's suitable for habitation. Again, I don't want to make empty to the group tonight and tell people these encampments will just automatically disappear once signage is posted. It does take a lot of efforts from our LAPD West Valley officers and from our homeless outreach teams in CD6 to also work with folks on finding them alternatives, whether that be shelter or housing, or the unfortunate just finding having them go somewhere else where they're not going to be near the park and families. So that is a very it's a very difficult job that we have ahead of us, but we are going to keep prioritizing the areas around the park for enforcement and for outreach. I also want to mention that we do have a number of vehicle dwellings on Sherman Way, as folks have seen, and we are working on that and getting those RVs to relocate, because there is actually another project for the median sign, which includes some sidewalk improvements, which actually is going to require the RVs to move. Because it's a permitted city work, we're able to do something there. And then, like I said as well, I just want to reiterate that, we are exploring, installing 4118 signs at a number of parks in CD6. Jesse Owens Park would obviously be one of those. There is already an ordinance that forbids camping in parks, but this would create the 500-foot sort of buffer zone around the park where also encampments would not be allowed. But however, the city still has to follow our encampment cleanup protocols. And so again, I just want to remind folks that, as much as we try, that we aren't able to, move an encampment without providing advance notice because of litigation that the city is under. So, we're looking at the overnight parking signage. I'm looking at 4118 signage. I have an outreach team. Again, last week when I got the emails, we sent out an outreach team first thing last week after the holiday. And a couple that was living in the park was housed in one of our shelters within the week. So we do have an outreach team at CD6 that's very proactive, really good at building relationships, and pretty much every Wednesday is in the Lake Balboa community doing outreach at various locations, and Jesse Owens Park is one of them. I also want to kick it off to Viana to give some other updates on some projects in the area. But that is, kind of a brief summary of our efforts around the park.
Thank you, Jonah.
Jennifer has her hand raised.
Yeah, thank you. Jonah, I just wanted to quickly say thank you to both of you, to you and Viana and your teams, because our neighbors have actually seen your outreach team there working with the people. So I just want to say thank you because we have seen you. So it is really appreciated.
Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. And I know our outreach team does too.
All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. I think Jonah touched on most of the details on this item. I noticed that there was also a permanent information board mentioned on this item. That's definitely something we'd love to support and hopefully have at the opening. I can't imagine that that's too difficult or expensive, but we shall see. When it comes to the Welcome to Lake Balboa sign that I know has been mentioned in other meetings, kind of crossing over with the grand opening of Jesse Owens, we're still expecting the project to be completed by the end of October, which will coincide with the October 29th grand reopening. And I think Jonah touched on some of the RVs that will likely be moved in the scope of work for the sign improvements. And Jonah and I had a meeting this morning that kind of explored the improvements and kind of relaying out the median on Sherman Way, just so that the sign is mostly visible. And we're also looking into some drought tolerance landscaping on that area. But everything is moving along as planned, and we're still expecting the grand reopening for both the sign and the park around the end of October.
Thank you, Viana. Does anybody have any questions about these subjects in general? Okay. Thank you to Jonah. Thank you to Viana. Item number 8. This afternoon, I received an email from Daniel Johnson, who's with Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. I'd like to read that into the recording. It says, "Good afternoon, Jim. We are requesting that the committee table item number 8 at tonight's special recreation and park committee meeting because there are still outstanding issues with this item and the proper remedy. We are working with the office of the city attorney to determine how to best support the board. I will be in communication with you soon. As for today, the item needs to be tabled." I don't understand why. I've given it a lot of thought. I talked to Linda, and I've decided to proceed with item number 8.
Jim,
Yes.
you mentioned that there was a reason that he said it needed to be tabled was because of Brown Act violation.
Yes, he said that, that is, Daniel said that he warned us that proceeding with the vote at the September neighborhood council meeting, board meeting for funds would be a Brown Act violation, and we proceeded to vote for the funds. And so now he says that, and I don't have this by email and I have it by verbal discussion, that he was in a meeting with the city attorney, and we should table this, and that at some later date, not exactly determined exactly when, he might be able to find a way for us to continue and proceed with our grand opening event.
Well, as I mentioned at the Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council meeting, we had a Brown Act meeting. It was a public meeting. The agenda was posted a minimum of 72 hours prior to the meeting. Anyone wishing to discuss the item that was on the agenda could, if they attended the meeting. There was no meeting that Daniel was talking about because we had an issue with the Zoom access. Because there was an issue with the Zoom access, there was no meeting that they feel that was a Brown Act violation. The meeting was canceled. They recommended that we do not continue, and we did not. There was no meeting to discuss anything about Jesse Owens Park. So the discussion was at the Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council board meeting, where all board members were in attendance, and anyone in the public that wished to discuss it could have and did. It was open for discussion. We took a vote on the funds. The funds were approved. I don't understand if he spent all day talking to the city attorney that they can't come up with and tell us what we did wrong. So I recommend we continue. Danica, you have your hand raised.
I recommend also that we continue. The fact of the matter is that if we did not have a Rec and Parks committee, there would not be a committee to bring this item in front of anyway. Like, we don't have an education committee right now. So anything that deals with education goes straight to the board. So how is that different than if this went straight to the board? And affecting the grand opening of this park only hurts the children and our community. That is the only people that it hurts. I'll try it.
Okay.
Linda Schwerin?
Is Daniel here at this meeting tonight?
No,
Okay.
I
Then,
don't believe so. Anyway, his name is not identified.
okay. My comment would be this, that my understanding is that it's always recommended that if an item should come up and it should be discussed, not should be discussed, could be discussed in committee, and committee could forward it to the general board meeting at the neighborhood council. However, my understanding is also that might be considered a best practice. And as Danica said, some people don't have committees for everything. And in this case, I don't know if Dunn considers this a lack of following best practices, and that's why it's a Brown Act violation. I don't see the Brown Act violation, and my comment is to also continue.
Thank you. Nate?
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm concerned that our neighborhood empowerment representative has presented no remedy and has not addressed the problem. And during discussion during the neighborhood council meeting, which I did attend, there was really no response, and it sounded like he didn't understand the situation. So I don't see a violation here either. I recommend we move forward. And I think we're doing so in a manner that is in full public view, properly advertised, and serves the community best. So I support you, Jim, on moving forward.
Yeah, Danica.
So, okay, Dunn is Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. They're supposed to help us get things done, not inhibit us from getting things done.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to number 8. Um, we pretty much knew we had to have this event after the playground was finished. That was only logical. And since we are the co-sponsor, we went with the date that CD6 wanted, because it's their event. We're the co-sponsor, and that is October 29th. So that's decided. The time is on the application that CD6 filled out, and I don't have any problem with it. If you do, please discuss it, but it's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any hands? No. We've been shopping around for weeks for a caterer. We knew we'd have to do that. So we, several of us went to a lot of trouble, a lot of work doing that. Thank you, Jennifer. I have not been in the best of health. It's been a bad year for me. I had surgery, I had COVID. It's just been a bad year. And so I depended so much on so many other people, and I did a lot of stuff over the phone. There was one a caterer, if you will, that we used to go to here in Lake Balboa, but unfortunately with COVID, they went out of business. So they were not available to go to. We knew we had to have something that was socially distant. It had to be, we couldn't have something that was going to be cooked at site. That changes the whole ball game. So we found someone who gave us a 40% discount. It's pre-wrapped, and we're not even going to touch the food. They're handing it out, and that's that. As for advertising and outreach, primarily it's going to be social media. Kristen, if you don't know Kristen, she used to be on the council, the head of the outreach committee, and she still helps from time to time generously with her ability, using Canvas and things like that. So she gave a whole bunch of different files that we could use to advertise with. The exact location for the setup, I think this is going to probably be decided when we get there and see what's available to us. And volunteers, you're all volunteered. We have a couple of hands up. Linda Schwering.
Okay, did you think that my hand was up because I'm volunteering?
I thought so.
Well,
I thought you wanted to be. I thought you wanted to be the president again.
no. Okay,
Take over.
you can mark me down. Yes, I do volunteer for the event, and as we get closer to it, we can figure who's going to be there at what time. The reason I put my hand up was for those that are here tonight, and I know Katie was not at the last meeting, perhaps someone else, just to expand on what you said, that the Jesse Owens Park or grand opening is a co-sponsored event, and it will be Lake Balboa and Nuri Martinez in CD6. So I just wanted to make sure that if there was someone who didn't catch that, just to clarify.
Thank you. Jennifer?
Regarding volunteers, I've been talking to neighbors directly in this area, and I do have a number of people that are interested in helping. So once we're ready to figure that part out as per, what kind of tasks we need, I did invite several of them to this meeting, but I know sometimes it's tough. But I am working via social media and my walking around with my neighbors to get some volunteers to help on that specific day. And I do have some more.
Thank you so much. And also, by the way, I have been in touch with our outreach committee, and they will be working with us. It's been said that Rec and Parks doesn't work with anybody. I'd like to, if that's true, I'd like to change that. Katie?
Hi, everyone. I was just going to say about the exact location of everything, since we're so familiar with the park and where everything is. I can create like a plot plan of perhaps like we, for example, line up all of our booths along one of the walls, and then we so we have like our caterer, our cookies, our drawing opportunity station, and I can go and create a plot plan either all along the wall or all along the front, or maybe just in a circle around the playground. I can talk to my friends in this group as to what they think might be the best way to strategically place something, and I can create a map and submit that to you and everyone for approvals, or
So we know where we belong?
yeah, exactly. So you know your place, Jim. I want you standing next to me the whole time.
Thank you so much. That's an excellent idea. That's an excellent idea.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, sorry, I wasn't done.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. And then, I might be jumping ahead. Have we talked about the donations yet?
The what again?
The donations. I know we want strategic placement for where the donations are going to be, but I think I need to do some planning with you and the committee about the handling of all of our donations for the drawing opportunity. But I might be skipping ahead. I apologize if so.
I didn't really put it on here because I guess I didn't know if we were going to have any donations, but you.
I've been stockpiling.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to have to be careful about the word donations.
Right. It's opportunity drawing.
So drawing prizes. Can I say that? What can I say? What's the word?
Opportunity drawing.
You can say door prize.
Door prize.
You can say opportunity drawing. You cannot say a raffle. You can't say donation because the neighborhood council cannot accept a donation. But I'm looking at the flyer that Jennifer did, and it's for the community. What does it say here? This flyer was produced by your neighbors at the Park Projects Group. An alliance of Lake Balboa residents dedicated to improving our shared spaces. So that's fine. You can say whatever you want on it, but anything that has the Lake Balboa logo or anything that says Council District 6 has to be by the city clerk's rules.
Absolutely. I'll change my language to door prize.
Yeah, shame on you. Yeah.
I know. Everyone, it was door prize.
Well, there are a lot of rules.
Thank you, though. Thank you.
Jennifer?
I was just I can share my draft. It's just my neighborhood draft flyer. I can share my screen so everyone can see it, because I think only a few people have seen it. Let's see, here we go. So the very bottom is where the opportunity drawing partners are listed. There's more. Those are just the ones that Katie has been working her butt off. I got one. I'll give myself credit on one. Jim did talk to Rec West. I thought it was a great idea. We wanted to thank them for the beautiful work they've been doing. So they did agree to allow us to put their logo on the flyer, and also the caterer and the cookie person. And then the activities, it's kind of generic, but I think it's just a neighborhood flyer, and if we get more specifics, we can do that. But my plan is to print these. Now, when I say print these, this is coming out of our pocket. Me, Nate, Katie already paid for the last one we did. We're going to be printing these and walking them into mailboxes in our neighborhood. So if anybody has any other opportunity drawing people interested, let me know. I'm happy to put the logos on here. I am printing these the last Friday of September. That way it gives us some time to print and walk these around the neighborhood over the next week, the first week of October. So that's just my draft we've worked out. If anyone has questions or comments or any changes, just let me know.
I think the address is wrong.
It's on Google Maps. I know. It's 7111 on Google Maps. I've looked at 7,000 White Oak too, but maybe, I don't know if Google Maps is wrong. I don't know. Jonah or
I
Viana,
think
do you
it's
guys know that?
7,100.
7,100.
I know.
I believe it's 7,100.
Okay, I'll change it because like if you look on Google Maps, 7111 comes up. So I will change it. But my little pocket knows exactly where this is, so I'm not too
I don't
stressed
think
about it.
I don't think anybody's going to miss it.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to be good. I want to be perfect.
Do you need a copy of our logo?
No, I think since this is just for the neighbors, and we're paying for it, we want to keep government stuff off of it. So we don't want Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council on it because, you know, or the city or anything like that. So I think as a neighborhood, as you know, like I said, it's produced by your neighbors and we call ourselves the Park Project Group. Like we're just an alliance. It's not an official organization of any sort.
No worries.
There are hands. I don't know which one went up first.
Jim,
Uh,
if you go into panelists,
yes.
you'll see which hands went up first.
Oh, in that order? Okay.
Correct.
Jonah?
Jonah's hand is not raised.
Oh,
No,
what's
it would be Linda Gravane next.
okay. Then I'm doing it wrong. Oh, it says panel one.
Okay, while you're looking.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So I love the quote at the bottom of the flyer, which reminded me that Katie, when you first came to the neighborhood council, you said that you had contacted either the family or the foundation that we could use the quotes, etc. Have you advised them of this big gala event that we're having so that they can be recognized, or what specifically are we going to do to say thank you or hats off or whatever? Or are we?
I did reach out and I got a congratulations and and they were happy with the success of the park, but it didn't extend much and our movement. It didn't extend much further than that. But now, and that was in the very beginning because I was all razzle dazzled and so excited. But now that we have a lot more to it, I'll put that on my to-do list, is to just notify them once more and say that, inform them of what's going on. I invited them to come. The whole everything. So they have our blessing, but let me see if I can get more than that and see if maybe we can say a speech to them or honor them in some way and have
maybe
a specific moment.
Yeah, because Council District 6 is going to be involved, so it's bigger than just the 2 or 3 blocks in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And even the neighborhood council. I mean, it's larger than life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're huge.
I mean, Jonah and Viana are going to be there.
Yes.
Can
we get Nuri?
I think so.
You think so?
Was that a positive?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Okay. May I make a comment before you move on? Yeah, thank you. Jennifer, I really am say that I am impressed at what you've been doing, working with your local people. And I like your flyer. I have only one suggestion, and that's where you list about the free sandwiches and cookies. You might put just after that, while supplies last.
Yeah, hold on, I have it in one spot.
Yeah, and the reason I mention that is, you know that people like to show up
I have this.
that are free. I think it was on the right under activities.
While it lasts.
Okay. So I'll
Just
just repeat it here then. Yeah.
just in case you might want to consider it, because people are always coming saying, "Oh, you said there was going to be something." No, well then you can say, "Gee, I'm sorry, we ran out."
Yeah, totally. That makes sense. I'll just repeat it over here. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see, Nate.
Yeah, again, with the flyer, I just wanted to, because this is the park project group, you know, an alliance of neighbors. I think it was Viana who had asked, should we or can we promote the presence of, you know, if the council president is going to show up on this flyer, if we don't use a logo, are we crossing a line? Can we talk about, you know, your neighborhood council will be here, just making an announcement, not endorsing it, not the council endorsing it, but should we include that or can we include that? Or do you want us to do that?
I think it's a question for you, Viana.
So I know with, we just have to be very delicate with any reference or mention, and just to be clear, just would have to clear it with the city attorney's office. But I mean, it is something I would like to explore. It's just the timing on this too may be a little tight for that turnaround. Danica is very familiar with how delicate that process is.
Magical city attorney.
Yeah, maybe not too many visits to the city attorney for this one event, but I just thought it would be good for the community members to see the attention that they're getting, and also the hard work to get these funds here is a long time effort that did include, you know, a number of our elected officials. So, but if it's going to get too complicated, then let's not do it. I don't want to invite more city attorney into this process.
The Wizard of Oz. Let's see.
Yeah, because
Linda's still up.
I'm just going to jump in really quick, because you're identifying Humblebee and you're identifying Ever After Bakery.
Yeah.
And once you start promoting, now we have to say, oh, well, you know, there's other bakeries in Lake Balboa. We can't single out, even though they are providing. It is being paid for by city funds. So we, at the location, we can say this is who it is. But yeah, city attorney. Sorry. Word of mouth when you pass them around.
Yeah, agreed. That's not something that we would include on our neighborhood council flyer. I do have a question or a comment. Jim, do we or do you want to review or show the committee what our budget is, since the council has voted on this at the September meeting? Do you want to expand on that and show it, or do you think it's necessary?
I can look for that. I don't know how to share it.
Well, I have it if you want to share it, or if
It'd be
if
easier for you to share it.
Well,
if you want to.
that's whether, Mr. Chair, that's up to you, whether you want, if you do.
Well,
we need to share.
I'm not hiding anything. Maybe everyone like to see
You
it.
might like to see this, okay. All right, let's see if I can do this right. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I
How
know
is
you're,
it that everyone knows how to do these things except
Yes.
me?
you're recording this. This is the first time I'm doing a proper shared screen. There you go, kids. So what everybody sees on here is what the items that were included on what the council voted for. What was it, Jim? We voted for up to $4,000, and the
Yes.
budget is less. But this way, everybody can see these are the details that we spoke about tonight and the things that we voted on in detail at our September board meeting. Is that, do you want me to stop sharing now?
Sure,
What was the total budget?
3250.
What was the total budget? Not how much was on, what was the total
4,000.
budget?
Up to 4,000.
Ruth?
Well, I was just noticing where the first item was flyers for $100. So we're not, sounds like we're not doing flyers, that the other group is doing flyers. So we won't be spending that, right?
But
What
we haven't-
flyers?
We haven't printed any,
Oh, okay.
but we have the money there for it. If we don't spend it, then we just give it back.
Yeah. Okay.
So we don't have to spend $4,000, but we have the money there to spend if needed.
Okay, thanks.
Danica?
I highly suggest, really honestly, strongly suggest printing up flyers. Stag has like 500 kids. I think Galt has 400 kids. If you could just get a few hundred and print those flyers up, I'll gladly take them to the schools. They dipping them up into the class size, like one class has 25. Each teacher gets a flyer for each kid and it'll go home in that kid's backpack. And that's what I did for the movie in the park. And it's a fantastic outreach, especially to the children, because that's who's benefiting from this. And it'll really, instead of giving the money back to the council, I think you should just take some and do that, please.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to discuss in item number 8 was the advertising outreach / outreach. If anybody had any suggestions concerning that, I had your email concerning that. And if everyone is good with that, I mean, I'll shop around and get some printed. Anyone have any discussion on that?
Well, that's where the logos would go. And that would be Minuteman was the printer that we shopped around for and had the best rates. They are not in Lake Balboa, but they do have the very, very best rates when we were doing the emergency preparedness flyers.
Where are they located?
I'll get you the
emailed it to
information.
you. I emailed it to you, Jim. I can email
okay.
it to you again.
Okay.
It's John over there at Minutemen.
And I believe that that's what Kirsten was doing, isn't it? She was doing the flyers for Lake Balboa.
I don't know.
Wasn't she doing outreach, you said?
Well,
Kristen was
she
doing-
didn't tell me. She didn't tell me where she was going.
Well, we can check on them.
No. She was creating a flyer
Oh
for
yeah,
outreach.
right. Well, creating it on PDFs
Okay.
or whatever. Well, if nobody has any more discussion on item number 8, I'm going to move on to item number 9. I've been working very hard. Everyone should understand. Well, first of all, let me say, ultimately, there's going to be a mural on the north wall at Jesse Owens Park. This is something we've talked about for a couple of years now. We had Wayne Neal on here before, and he had gone out there and he from Department of Rec and Parks, and he'd measured the wall and looked at it, and he said, in his opinion, it might be better to raise the height of the wall to keep homeless people from hopping over it, which is kind of an issue. So that's something that they're going to do. So we're not going to start this mural until they get finished raising the height of their wall. That's just logical. Now, those of you who don't know, we get funds, or we get funds through, it goes in from the city into, what do they call that again, Linda? The cultural development, or?
When there are developers who develop projects in the boundaries of Lake Balboa, we can request, I think it's 2% of the project or 2% of something, I've forgotten what. Tom Riley had all that information.
It's actually 1%. I got a hold of them.
Okay, so 1% of the project, 1% of the project goes into a kitty that can be used by the neighborhood council.
Right.
It actually, I believe, goes to CD6 because we can't accept any money,
Right.
but it is earmarked for the use of the neighborhood council because we're in that vicinity. So I don't know if the projects were actually completed, but we did ask for funds. And those are the funds that were going to be used for the mural.
Right.
Long story short.
Yeah, it has to be development that it's a commercial development over $500,000. And we didn't know this was a possibility. We didn't know this was available to us. They had to pay the funds, these contractors, and it was going directly to the city. But as Linda just said, if we tell them ahead of time, then they put down on the bottom of the contract that the funds are earmarked for us, hopefully, and these cultural development things will happen here. It's unclear how much money we have coming to us. I've been working on that on the side. We think it's about 60 grand, but don't hold me to it because nobody wants to tell me exactly. When we're able to find out how much that is, we will hopefully be able to work with one of these places like Blake Canvas LA or 1111. We've worked in the past with I'm sorry, what's his name who we worked with before?
Levi Ponce?
Levi Ponce, but I don't know if he's going to be available to us because, hey, he did things for free, and he's a highly sought after artist. But so this is going to take steps. First, the city is going to build this wall or complete this wall. Second, we're going to find out how much money we have coming to us. Third, we're going to fill out a lot of paperwork with cultural development. And then finally, we'll get some mural over there. So I think maybe the end of November?
Uh-huh.
So item number 10, public comment. Anybody? Linda Schwerin.
You have to unmute.
Got it. Okay. With regard to what we're doing on number 8, as far as the specifics for the setup and volunteers, etc., for the Jesse Owens Park event. Do I understand correctly that, Jim, you're going to be getting in touch with committee members to do deeper research, and we can do some, what we need to do between now and when we get to crunch time?
As far, yeah, what would be left to do? Obviously, I got to get some printing done. Katie was going to make a little map for us. Anybody who wants to volunteer can send an email. And we've already got the commitment from the outreach committee. And that's about it.
We're going to be using, if we're working with outreach,
Yes.
Jim, are we considering then using not only our website, of course, and the flyers, but we're going to do next door and possibly other things as well? Am I right?
Well, I think next door, yes. I don't think we're going to do any mass mailing. I don't think. I think
No.
we've learned from experience that doesn't work well.
Okay.
Danica's idea, especially for what this project is probably the most. Is probably the best. That is specific schools, children.
Sounds good.
Danica.
I just want to go on record and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Jim. It's just amazing. Just what was it? God, it seemed like just yesterday. I mean, we don't even have the welcome to Lake Balboa Street sign up, and you guys have a whole park constructed. I mean, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all your work. Thank you for your community involvement. Thank you for chatting with your neighbors, getting everybody going. And it just really makes me proud to be in Lake Balboa.
That's very generous of you to include me in this group, because I've done nothing at all. I've just been along for the ride. They are tremendous, and it's really a pleasure.
You know, I've always said the power of one. One person gets an idea and then says to a neighbor, blah, blah. And that one says, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see what we can do. And that one goes to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So never, never, never say only one person cares, because that one person, if you have some drive and you really want to see something happen, can make it happen. So bravo to the neighbors.
Never let it be said that there are not people who care. And people say, what's the neighborhood council? What do they do? Look at the folks in this one area who have become so passionate that they really want to do something for the neighborhood. Jim, maybe we'll be able to get TV station out there on that day too.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't
I
it?
don't know how to. Oh, maybe I should see if I can make a phone call over to like Channel 5 or something.
Well, if Nuri
They like
comes,
to
for
travel.
sure.
Yeah, that would be a real pull.
Ruth.
I just want to say, Jim, yes, you did a lot, because when you left the board, the project stalled. Nothing was happening till you came back and got on the board again. And that's why it got started again. So even though they all, Katie and Jennifer and Nate, those guys did it, the groundwork, it stalled. And then when you came back, that's when it started moving again and happening. So yes, you did do a lot. And thank you everybody for all your work.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jennifer.
No, I kind of off of what Linda was saying about how, we can come together as a community, and how this all started 2 years ago in July in the pandemic. Katie, I did not know her, lives half a block away from me, posted on Nextdoor. Nate doesn't use social media except to like look at stuff. He never posts. So it's like, hey, somebody in our neighborhood wants to read to talk about Jesse Owens Park. And I was like on it. Like the three of us have become like this. And throughout these 2 years, the people in our immediate vicinity have become friends. You know, we've become friends. It's kind of one of those things where like Nate and I have been here for 7 years, and we knew a couple people on Jellicoe, and then, you know, it's just starting to grow. Now, every day when I walk my dog, I see people in my neighborhood. We talk to each other. We ask how each other is doing. This is something that can help every pocket of Lake Balboa. This is something that when we're done with Jesse Owens Park, just because we live right here, Katie, Nate, and myself, we're not done with Lake Balboa. So this is just the beginning. And Jim, however frustrated you may get in any given day, we love you. We're thankful for you. We have your back. Jonah, Diana, we love the work that you do in our neighborhood, and we're so incredibly thankful. It is the most difficult work I can even imagine. So we appreciate you. The people in tents, they're a part of our community too, but we need to make sure they are safe and everyone in our community remains safe. So thank you everyone for everything you're doing.
Thank you. Danica?
Nate, so sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you. I wasn't aware. And I just wanted to say a big shout out to Jonah and Biana. I am your huge fans. And
Huge.
you guys rock so much for us. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, we love you, Jonah Glickman. I tell you every time.
Especially Jonah, yes. She's been there from the beginning.
And Biana too, but I haven't worked with you as much as Jonah. But thank you both so much.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for attending tonight's meeting. It's 8:06, and hey, thank you again. Good night.
Thank you so much, everyone, and for the
Good
kind
evening.
words. Hope everyone take care, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you.